Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be Zozo, a Protoss bot, taking on a bot that's looking quite good at the minute, BenBotBC. The BC standing for Battle Cruiser, of course, because if you're going to program a bot that plays StarCraft 2, you're going to make it want to build Battle Cruisers, just because there's not much more fun than that. And Battle Cruisers have a lot of versatility and usability, I suppose. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If we can hit, let's go for 17 likes on this video for the current supply in the game, that would be amazing. You guys are the best at it. You always blow it out of the water with the likes and the comments. And yeah. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches, as we have got BenBot going for a bit of a cheeky proxy. This has got to be probably the most repeated build in these bot matches is BenBot's Bunker Rush. It's just so effective for such a small commitment. And we're going to see whether it works against Zozo here today. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We put out daily StarCraft 2 bot videos here on this channel. Check out my second channel, LaughNgamez, which has sorry, I'm getting distracted by this Marine coming in, which has all sorts of StarCraft 2, as a couple probes do get pulled against the bunker, which is good to see. However, the Marines are causing problems, but if Zozo can delay the bunker, that would be huge. This one probe is getting FaceTime with this SCV, so that's big. It can afford to lose a few probes, and it is actually pulling more towards the bunker, though, even though that it has effectively paused it for now. So Zozo losing more workers than it needs to. This Zealot is getting close to finishing up, but it seems like it's taking forever. The bunker does actually get canceled, which is good for Zozo. And now this Zealot is coming down. We're going to see how well BenBot can micro these Marines against it. Does take a couple of swipes, so not making the best use of stutter stepping there. The Zealot does eventually go down. However, a Stalker is now being chrono boosted out by Zozo. And this probe wants blood as it decides to fight a Marine, which is not ideal for the probe. But yeah, that was interesting to see how BenBot unsuccessfully got away from that Zealot. Marines have higher movement speed than Zealots without charge, so that's not good. This probe may actually get that kill. Nope, but it does stay alive. That's quite important. BenBot elects to build another bunker on the lower ground and has a siege tank crossing the map. It gets up its own command center. A significant delay on its own macro. However, in return, BenBot gets 12 probes of Zozo. Zozo's defense wasn't perfect, but it did get the job done. It was better than doing nothing and allowing that bunker to complete. So that was at least good to see. And then we do have these two Stalkers out, soon to be joined by a third. Zozo is usually a bot that tends to go for like Robo, Prism, Immortal pushes, that kind of thing. And we're just gonna wait and see how locked down BenBot can get this position on the low ground, as there is the tank rolling up to join this. BenBot's building a bunker on its own side of the map. It's got a Widow Mine. Meanwhile, Zozo just getting that probe count back up after losing a fair few, and still having enough money to produce 2 Stalkers at a time. Money requirements are met in order for Zozo to build up that Robo, which is important to potentially get Immortals down the line, or a Prism. Zozo is the best Protoss bot that does not make use of Warp Gate, which is understandable. There's obviously some programming challenges to it. But that is my big wish for Zozo. Someday, I believe we'll see it. I know that all these bots are passion projects, however, I think just from a raw efficiency standpoint, it's worth it. It takes 30 seconds to produce a Stalker, with a Gateway producing it regularly, whereas it's like 14-second cooldown on a Gateway, something like that. So you just get more out of your gateways, so your bot would be a little bit more efficient just by default utilizing that. And yeah, let's see. BenBot has got the one tank. It's rallying quite a few Marines over to this location. Zozo has got a good stalker count, getting the prism out. But this bunker and this tank could be quite difficult for Zozo to break out of. So we're kind of just building to this. One probe wants to move to the low ground, quickly changes its mind upon seeing that bunker. BenBot behind this has a fusion core on the way, which will be expensive if it does want to go into battle cruisers right away. I mean, 2 bases to support BC production is kind of the minimum that you need. We do have Zozo getting out a warp prism, getting out 2 stalkers at a time as usual. A forge is on the way as well. Now the prism is done, so that's what Zozo says it needs to break out. But oh no, that is not good pathing for the blue Protoss bot. The prism is here so it can pull back the injured stalkers. The battery is overcharging them now, so at least fewer of the stalkers are dying. And most of the Marines that were here for Zozo are gone, or for BenBot are gone, but man, oh man, that did cost Zozo quite a bit. So BenBot's small commitment just works so well. As, yeah, I think it was like 7 Marines and a Marauder for 6 Stalkers. That is a good trade for the Terran. As BenBot continues to reinforce this location, Stalkers getting deleted by the siege tank. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Zozo may have to wait till it has the Immortal in order to break out of this. And yeah, it's going to keep shooting this bunker. However, there is the SCV repairing the bunker, so it's not going to die. The Observer coming forward could be important to help try and break out of this. Zozo wants to expand to the low ground as there's a Widow Mine at the 3rd base location. BenBot is a bit of a dirty Terran bot, it seems. This Immortal goes to the low ground, kills off a Marauder. Yeah, Zozo is having quite a difficult time expanding. Is it going to expand here, as those other 2 locations have been a bust? I think that that's maybe the case. Where's this probe going? Where are you going, guy? All the while, there's just butchery on the front lines. So BenBot's contain is incredibly effective against Zozo. It seems the bot is quite well programmed. However, even the best bots sometimes fall victim to things like flooding units into a bunker and a tank, and that's exactly why BenBot's author has programmed it to do this rush. It's a small commitment for a massive effect. The 3rd base does get cleared out, so Zozo can expand on location. BenBot sends another mine forward. But all in all, this location is still very, very problematic for Zozo. There's a Viking lurking around hunting for the prism. There is 2 Immortals. Eventually, Zozo may be able to break this. We'll see. The 3rd base has not gone up on that location yet. The 2 Immortals are going down the ramp, so Zozo will break the bunker. That's an important step in order to clean this location up. The Protoss really still wants to keep building a nexus on that Widow Mine. As another Widow Mine runs towards this cannon, there is a probe that's sent over to build this. Will it finally get that 3rd nexus up? Let's find out, as Zozo does go down the ramp. Widow Mine's getting shots off. Looks like this tank, the Widow Mines, will be cleaned on out. The 3rd base is out. BenBot, however, has jumped a battle cruiser into the main base of Zozo, and Zozo seems to not be reacting to this too much, as that's some very effective harassment. This game has just been a pure probe massacre by BenBot. 1 Stalker, 2 Stalkers are here to help try and fight off the BC. However, what are they waiting for? Seems like Zozo is kind of caught between 2 worlds. One world which it wants to be aggressive, and the other one which it wanted to defend. It seems the aggressive decision has won out, which is interesting programming. I mean, as long as it makes a decision and sticks with it, I think that's the important thing to dealing with something like a battlecruiser harassment, because the worst thing is when a bot goes in or tries to move forward but then falls back because of some other stimuli. So at least Zozo's actually committing to this attack. Now, it's going to be difficult to break up this ramp on Abyssal Reef, but Zozo is going to try. It's got 3 Immortals. They do take down the bunker. Lots of damage is dealt to the Protoss army, but not too many units died. The battlecruiser has been forced away for now, and it is coming back in to go for some more harassment now that it's off teleport cooldown. Poor Zozo is on a measly 26 workers, having lost 48 this game. This battery is at least saving some of these other probes, but it will run out of energy. Will the BC teleport away from this one stalker? Yes, it will. Zozo, meanwhile, is gearing up for another attack. However, BenBot has got 2 tanks, the Widow Mines, the bunkers on the front lines. And the 4th base is under fire. This could be bad for BenBot, depending how much it commits down to save this location. And that's what we're seeing right now, is BenBot is sending SCVs in to try and repair this building planetary fortress. So that is not good. There is now no longer a Widow Mine, as there is an observer there for Zozo in order to reveal those, which is important. The Prism is still juggling some of these units. The 4th actually needs to die before it becomes a planetary, though, and we're waiting to see if that's the case or not. Zozo isn't really targeting down this base, so it is successfully going to become a planetary fortress. There is 3 Immortals out, which deal massive amounts of damage. BenBot Yamato cannons the Prism. The 4th base does go down for BenBot, though, so Zozo does at least get some damage done to its opponent. However, Zozo pushing up this ramp is just an absolute bloodbath with 3 tanks up there. The Protoss bot is going to fall back a little bit, maybe wait for it to rebuild a new Prism. There is a Hellion coming in to harass at the 3rd base, and now we see a battlecruiser actually jumping into the main base of Zozo, as BenBot just seems to be a killer against these Protoss bots. I was debating casting BenBot against Deimos before I just landed on BenBot versus Zozo, but I think I'm going to cast that next, as it seems that BenBot may have just become an absolute Protoss killer. The battery is definitely helping out. No battery overcharge, though, to get the most out of this battery against that battlecruiser. This one Phoenix is going to be a hero. Don't be a hero. That just gets you dying. We have got another battlecruiser teleport into the bottom right as the harassment mount. Zozo is up to 45 probes again, so it has been rebuilding that economy despite the massive losses in this game. Yamato Cannon gonna delete that poor Phoenix. It's a hard job trying to defend against a battlecruiser. We've got 2 Immortals poking in on the front right now, as they did get separated from the rest of Zozo's army. That's not ideal. We see the Immortals also wandering forward to attack the planetary when there's 4 Marines on top of it. That's not ideal. Stalkers are moving forward. However, they are just getting absolutely deleted by the siege tanks. They may kill the bunker. They may not even succeed at that, as Zozo loses massive amounts of supply, and we just see the strength of a bot like BenBot that is able to build up just a ginormous army, and then, yeah, just to build up a ginormous army with defensive structures. It's something that's very difficult to attack on into, and it's not easy to program the logic in your bot. Like, at what point do you program your bot and say, yeah, it's a good idea to go up that ramp with 2 tanks and 2 bunkers and 2 Widow Mines, but at some point you got to do it in theory. So BenBot does successfully secure up its 4th. It's getting a 5th base up. Looks like Zozo may actually find that 5th, so that could be a good pickoff. However, in goes another battlecruiser. BenBot just has the time of its life teleporting these on in. 1 Stalker is trying to do the job to defend against it. Another Stalker pops on out, but this is really keeping Zozo's economy down. Zozo is trying to hit this 4th, however, it seems BenBot does have enough Marines and Marauders and battlecruisers to push away the Stalkers, which do not even have Blink. They no longer have a Prism to support them. And so Zozo isn't even winning on, like, the mobile ground front, which it was. It's just been an absolute disaster of a game for the blue Protoss bot. BenBot, like, its opening got so much damage done, there's just seems to be no way for Zozo to overcome that easily when it's still being harassed by these battlecruisers. Like, there was 12 probes that died in the first rush, but now we have crossed 100 dead probes in this game. BenBot's harassment has been very successful. It wasn't just the battlecruiser, there was also the odd Hellion sent in towards the 3rd base. And so, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this game, click that like button. It's a bit of an ambitious goal, but if we can hit 100 likes for 100 probes, that would be very cool to see. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like, and yeah, consider becoming a YouTube member if you do want to support these bit of a niche daily StarCraft 2 casts. I never imagined I'd be casting bot matches every day, but here we are, and I certainly enjoy it as we get games like this. I am going to cast BenBot against another Protoss, so stay tuned for that, as Yamato cannons are going ahead and killing off the few units that Zozo has remaining, the back of this base has just been an absolute probe sink. Like, if Zozo stopped reinforcing this location and just mined from its other bases, it would probably be better off than just having those BCs constantly pick off probes and then retreat to the corner. Defending is something that's very difficult to program when it comes to defending with units, which is why we do see a lot of bot authors take approaches such as BenBot, using bunkers and just tanks, which are almost fixed structures if you program them to sit somewhere. And then turrets, of course, are important. It's not an easy thing to do to program a bot at this level. If you guys want to get started on programming your own bot, just check out the sc2ai.net Discord or sc2ai.net, as there's lots of helpful links and guides there. And yeah, you can potentially program a bot that can beat BenBot, maybe. That's quite a tall order, but it can be done. Well done by BenBot, though, looking as lethal as always. And that is gonna be it. GG.